Thing working? Is it clear? Hello, hello. So, doing a bit of a different live today. My phone's on charge with about 5% battery left, so I'm on an old iPad with a fisheye lens at the front. So if this doesn't focus, I will be taking it off. Um, but it is Saturday, and I believe it's the 28th. Transport Hub, good evening. Saturday the 28th. I'm going to take this off. It's getting on my nerves. Yeah, so close. I wanted to get the computer in there. But either way, wow, this is weird on an iPad. How are we all doing? Let me get my glasses. Nope, wrong ones. Right. Nope, those were the right ones, but these will do. Let me give them a clean. So it's Saturday the 28th, and by now I'm pretty sure we're all wondering why I've not done any videos at work, because it's been a while. And the reason I've not been doing any videos is because I've been isolating. Like millions of people across the country, I've been isolating, and for good reason. But I was due to go back to work tomorrow, the 29th, nice and early on my route. And yesterday, I get a letter through the post. Now, for those who don't know, for those who are new to this channel, let me just put these spare glasses on. Wow, that's different. I haven't used these for a while. For those who are new to this channel that don't know my little story, I'm a bus driver, and Victoria Grey High. I'm a bus driver, and since August last year, I've been suffering with, or I had suffered with a lymphoma, cancer, basically. And I had a lot of treatment, a lot of chemotherapy and immunotherapy over several months, and I am all clear from that. And I'd been back to work about 5 or 6 weeks. I think it was about 6 weeks I've been back at work in total before this corona madness has been going around the world. And obviously I was aware of what was going on in December before going back to work because I watched the news. And I was aware that there was a respiratory illness in this country long before December. You just hear about it. So obviously, for the last 5 weeks, I've been working, and I was looking forward to doing my shift on Sunday. Really was looking forward to it because it's not that the buses are empty, because they are. I was looking forward to doing my shift because there's a lot of people out there that do a really good job saving people's lives. Key workers, majority I would like to say were NHS workers. And I would take great pride in taking you wonderful people to and from work. My bus in particular goes by two main hospitals, or close to two main hospitals. We've got King's College in Camberwell, which is a 5 minute walk from where I would pass by, and it goes to St Thomas's. And I wouldn't be charging NHS staff of any kind any fee, any fare. I'd let you go for free, but it's an important job because buses are not being stopped. And I was looking forward to going back to work basically. And I get this letter through on Friday saying that I'm a high risk, excuse me, high risk vulnerable person, and I've been given my orders to stay at home for 12 weeks. Yep. Bearing in mind, I am fitter than I've been in the last 10 years. I'm the fittest I've been. I've lost nearly a stone in weight in a good way since going to the gym. I eat really, really well. I've actually gained muscle mass. I actually have more muscle in my arms now. Look, beef, beef. But it's I feel really good in myself. I wouldn't say in any way that I was vulnerable or if I was a high risk. But clearly, given that my treatment only finished in November and we're in March, it's still really close, isn't it? I mean, bearing in mind I had a stage 2 type of it was a cancer, the lymphoma. It is still really close, and the things I have to take on board the judgment that they have for that. You see, I don't think it's like a blanket thing, like everyone within a certain age or anyone within a certain illness range or bracket has to get the letter and stay home. I think someone would have taken their time and gone through things. We're back. We're back. We're cooking with gas now, boys and girls. But myself, I feel fine, completely fine. Um, I would say I was fit for work. Like I said, I wanted to go to work. And yet the NHS and the government have a long shot. But it is what it is. Even though I feel great in myself, it cuts out. Watching this video. But it's not just me I'm moaning about. It's obviously this is the same sort of situation for hundreds, if not thousands, of people, maybe even millions across the country, being given their orders by the NHS and the government to isolate and shield, I believe they call it, for 12 weeks. Now I'm not happy about it, but I have to do it because, like I was trying to say before, this bloody internet connection or iPad decided to play up is. I don't know what my I'm doing on the inside, even though I feel man sometimes. If I get ill, especially with COVID-19, I don't know if my body will be able to fight it off. And I spent a lot of time and a lot of hospital time fighting something which could have killed me. And I don't want to lose any kind of illness battle to an offshoot of the flu virus. I can't take that risk. I can't. I can't leave my kids without a dad. And that's what gets me. As I said this all the way through my treatment when I had the cancer is I've never been afraid of dying. I don't want to. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not afraid of it. What I'm afraid of is leaving my kids without a dad and leaving my missus behind. That's what scares me the most is their life without daddy. Their mum might me. She'd probably have a peaceful life to be fair, but but I got to do what's right for me. And the thing is because the buses are dirty, and I moan about it all the time. You've probably seen videos of me bitching and whining about the state of the buses, how dirty they are, how much I loathe Sadiq Khan for making mean about the cleanliness of buses. If I get on a bus and there's just one part of that virus in the cab or on the bus and it gets onto me and I don't actually physically touch that and get that on my mouth, my nose, my eyes, but I then bring it into my home and then my children get it or my missus gets it because those buses are so dirty, and they are. I wouldn't live with myself anyway, especially if the worst happened. So now that I've been given my orders by the government on their shielding initiative, I'm going to have to do. So this is essentially day 2 because the 12-week isolation started from the moment I got the letter, which was yesterday. So what I can and can't do, I'm not allowed to go to the shops. I'm not allowed to go do any grocery shopping. I'm not really allowed to step foot outside the house. So says the letter. But because I'm not ill, it doesn't say anywhere on the letter that I'm not allowed to go out for my allotted exercise. My once per day exercise. It doesn't say I can't do that. So I might take good advantage of that and still obviously walk my beloved Stanford, my dog. But it's weird. You know, it's like being off work for that long. Being off work for 6 months, 7 months really, without driving a bus, but it was 6 months I was off work on 75% pay, which is what my company offer as full sick pay for 6 months. To now be told that because I'm on the shielding, the 12 weeks isolation, I don't know whether or not I'm going to get the furlough 80% that the government have set aside for companies to use for people that, pretty sure you know what the furlough is. It's either going to be that or 50%, which is obviously after 6 months sick, it goes from 75% to 50. And work at the moment aren't too sure what will be because they just don't know, which is a bit of a pain. So I've had to spend yet more money on paying up a lot of rent for at least 6 weeks. So at least if I do go on to 50% pay, which don't get me wrong is better than statutory, but if I do go on to 50%, then at least I haven't got to worry about rent for 6 weeks. Bearing in mind I'm not allowed to be evicted for 3 months anyway. Yay, thanks government. But what really gets my biscuit about this whole situation, it changes day by day. Try and keep positive, says Victoria Gray. It's very true. It's very true. What gets my back up the most about the government and all their plans and their initiatives of things that help people, what really gets my back up is they've got no plans for people who rent, like me, from a housing association or a housing association or council that don't claim benefits. Now, if you claim benefits, like universal credit or housing, this, that, and the other, you can change it, I presume, and get more money from wherever, however, I don't know. But because we don't claim any of that, we're not entitled to any help whatsoever with rent or council tax, regardless of our situation. Bearing in mind our income has been considerably less over the last 8 months than what it would have been any other time because of the illness. And now because of COVID-19, we could literally be sailing up the river against the current, really. And I don't really want to be in that position. But obviously I'll deal with it as and when I have to, and I'll never let this place go. I'll sell a kidney if I have to. I'll sell my beloved PC if I have to. I'll even get rid of the car if I have to. But I'll never let our standards here drop. It's just annoying. It's like one thing after another, especially with me at the moment. And I know I'm going to bitch and I'm going to moan, and there's a lot of people out there with a lot more serious problems than what I have. I can 100% agree with that. I can only tell you a thing from my point of view. It just seems that after I've had such a bad run of things, and I've got back on my feet and I've climbed back up, I've got to the top of the mountain, yes! And then I get pushed back down halfway, and it's like, there you go. Yeah, go on. Try again. Try harder. It's difficult. And what else is getting to me a little bit at the moment is the fact that my nan, I've spoken about her before, my dear old nan, 97 years old. I think she's 97. 97. Sylvia is her name. She's in a care home in Peckham. And she's suffering with Alzheimer's and vascular dementia and delirium and God knows what. And she doesn't really remember who I am half the time anyway. But I would go and see her 2 or 3 times a week. And I can't leave the house for 12 weeks. And obviously if COVID-19 gets inside a care home, it would absolutely be like a tidal wave in a care home. COVID-19, it would absolutely destroy every elderly, vulnerable person in there. And I don't know if I'm going to see her again, to be fair. And that's a really bitter pill to swallow. That's a really bitter pill to swallow. Because I know if I wasn't stuck in here, and bearing in mind how the home has been on its own lockdown long before the government actually decided to lock it down. They shut the doors to visitors anyway, which is a good precaution. But knowing that I can't see her is literally killing me a little bit every day, because she's my last grandparent, you see. And we learn so much from our grandparents, don't we? We learn things that they learn. We learn how they operate, really. We learn things that Mum and Dad didn't teach us because they're of a different era. We learn how to cook some things from our grandparents, didn't we? We learned what they used to like to listen to on the radio. And we take a lot of that on board. We say a lot of our personalities, a lot of our traits, they come from not your mum and dad, but from your grandparents. It skips a generation. So, not being able to see my nan over the next few weeks, not few, even more than that, 12 weeks, is gonna be a bitch. Kieran Gallagher, my granddad taught me how to tie a tie. If you look at my videos, actually, it goes back about a year, maybe a year and a half. I'll teach you how to tie a tie. It's a good one, actually. Short but sweet, but it works. So yeah, so I want to say a thanks to everyone, not just NHS staff, because there are lots of amazing NHS staff. It's everyone, basically. You've got your emergency services, which can't take days off, not really. The police, you've got the ambulance service, you've got fire brigade, you've got vets. No one ever gives a shout out to vets. Vets are a key worker. Veterinarians, they're amazing people. You've got people that work in supermarkets, from the delivery drivers to till staff, customer services. They're all fantastic people. No one gives them a shout out. I'm going to. Thank you. And I know I did a video and I posted it on Friday saying thank you. That was specifically aimed at all medical staff and volunteers all over the world. It wasn't just for our NHS. It was a global thing. I wanted to get a lot more people on that, but I just couldn't get the numbers, basically. I couldn't. I wanted to make it a good 2 or 3 minute video with a bit of footage in there as well, but I thought, you know what, the retention on YouTube is quite shocking when it comes to content, so I'll keep it about 1 minute. It was about 1 minute 3 seconds actually, and I like it. I like it. I put it out there, and a lot of people did or do like the video, and do me a favour and just sharing the hell out of that, because I want people that work in those key sectors to see it. I want them to actually feel appreciated, because without them we'd all be done for, really. Do you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through some of these comments. So excuse me while I don't look at the camera. I've got so many. Wow, so many. So you got Jack, hi. Soft 16 stick, good evening. Kieran, hi. Kieran Burt, Liverpool as well. Been better, but thanks. Lincolnshire and whole bus channel. Hi Chris, hope you're okay. Again, I've been better, but I've got to plod along with it. Sarah's random videos. Hi. Bus driving easy at the moment. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. This is the frustration that I've had lately. I just wouldn't know, because Ange H, how are you? How are you? I hope the kids are coping with the lockdown. It's not how the kids are coping with the lockdown, it's how I'm coping with the kids on the lockdown. Transport Hub, Jack says, those glasses are quite nice. They're old, to be fair. These are my spare pair. All the paint's come off the side of them. I've got my new ones, my first pair, set on by accident. That's no good. See, these are my new spares. These actually look, they're actually bigger. And we're back again because it keeps dropping out and it's gonna make me shout and my kids are asleep and I'm cleaning my glasses so I can see. There we go. Let's read some of these comments now, shall we? Live chat. And we're back in the game. Let's get back to where I was. Wow, so many comments. Thank you, everyone. Sergeant Major Patrick Harper says, hi, Chris. Oh, hey, Chris. Just what I needed. Just received news that my granddad died after 11 days all alone without anyone by his side because of this COVID-19. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry. I'm going to well up now because I've only got one grandparent left and you've just lost one. I'm sorry. Surprised they haven't gone Sunday service yet. That's coming soon. Soft 16 stick. Several routes will go Sunday service from Monday. See, told you it was coming soon. Transport Hub knows best. Lots of spare drivers if they do all go. No, if they all go special service, then a lot of drivers will be furloughed because they just won't have the work. They'll get the 80%, and if that is the case, because I'm being told to stay here and I'm not choosing to be here, I'm hoping they'll put me on that 80% as well, which will be a massive bonus for me. Otherwise, I'll end up selling a kidney. Uncertainty is the worst. Yes, it is. Victoria Gray says it changes day by day. Keep positive. I read that one. I did. Stay safe, buddy, says Ross McGarry. Ross McGarry, you stay safe. You stay safe. Stay home. Drink tea and iron brew. Let's get some more of these live chats up. There we go. Seen that video, very good, says Stephen Bennett. I believe that was the Thai one. I believe my granddad got it from his carer, and it breaks my heart to think of it. I'm praying for you guys, Chris. Thank you, Sergeant Major Patrick Harper, and honestly, from my family to yours, my deepest condolences. I'm sorry for your loss. Can't see my grandmother neither, says RS 15. Is that? Yeah. It's the worst thing ever for me, especially when you're close to your grandparents and you can't see them. That's what does it for me. See, I've always been close to my grandparents, all of them, obviously when they were alive. Let's go back down here. My granddad taught me how to start a tie. Hi, Chris, says Mark Simpson. This is so bad I can't see my nan. She's 83 and can't get out. I have been crying because it's such a shame. What should I do? Please give me advice. It's difficult. It is difficult. So your nan's 83. Is your nan at home or in a care home? That's a big question. That's a big question. If they're at home and they're able to answer a telephone, just call them. Just so you can hear their voice, call them. Yeah? If they're at home and not in a care home, you can even call care homes to be fair, but call them in the morning, at lunchtime, in the evening, just for a chinwag. Yeah? You can literally go and see if they're okay. You can knock on the door. If they can open the door, save the door, give them their space and talk to them, because you're allowed to go and check on people and you're allowed out the house close to your nan who is 83. And I know it's not everyone's fortunate to live that close to their grandparents, caring for someone, especially if they're vulnerable. And an 83-year-old grandparent, I would class as someone who's vulnerable. Just make sure that if you can, wear a mask, wear gloves, take some sanitizer with you. And what does help is if you sanitize your hands first, wait for them to dry, put your hands in the gloves, and then use that same sanitizer on the outside of the gloves whenever you touch something. That gives you extra protection, and that's also giving the person that you're looking for extra protection as well. And boys and girls, another thing I'm going to say is when you get home from going outside or whatever you've been doing, wherever you've been, wash the bottom of your shoes. I cannot stress this enough. The amount of people that gob on the floor outside, you don't know what's on the floor outside, you don't know what's on your clothes. If you use public transport, still, if you can go to work, if you can't work from home, you don't know what's on your clothes. So try, and if you can, change your clothes, t-shirt, jeans, uniform every day. And obviously clean the bottom of your shoes, because let me read some more of these comments. I think of me, I take after both of my parents and grandparents. My singing is from my grandma, which I appreciate a lot. I've been given from her. I appreciate a lot I've been given from her. It says Victoria, it's terrible today. I'm so tired. Chris, it will get better, Chris. I'm sorry to hear about your nan. I miss seeing my grandparents. As before this, we used to see them all the time, but we go chat with them on Messenger. See, you're lucky. You're lucky because you've got tech-savvy grandparents. RS15, this video is, the video was heartwarming. Thank you. Thank you very much. Wish I'd known, as I definitely would have taken part in the NHS. Been brilliant over the years with my MS pal. Again, sorry if I can't get to everyone's. Here in Dublin, we're about to go to Saturday service with added universals. Never heard of that one. See, what I would like to see in London specifically, but obviously I'd like to see it across the country, is government paying for shuttle buses. So every single bus company in the country, government pay for buses which go to and from hospital here, for example. You'll have about 5 or 6 shuttle buses which literally go all over. So if this is the area and you've got a hospital in the centre, 5 shuttle buses that go from the hospital outwards within a certain distance to pick up key workers and NHS staff and take them to and from home for free. I would love to see that. It's such a great idea. Sorry to hear about your name, Chris. It's Sarah's Random Videos. Remember, we all here for you. Thank you very much. Your thank you video was great. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm told that I will get furlough as I'm not on sick. I'm told I got to be off. So should I? So should get the same, buddy. I don't know. See, this is the thing, is I don't know what I'm entitled to because I'm not technically going sick. I'm following government instruction. This is government instruction. They're not asking me, oh, would you mind taking some time off? No, they're telling me, look, you are a vulnerable person. They're telling me that I am a high risk, and if I get it, it will not be good for me. And I have to follow their instruction for my own benefit, not just for my benefit, but for other people's benefit as well. Their lives, my life, their lives, other people's lives. Again, I'm not happy about it. I don't really want to be stuck indoors for that long at all, in the slightest. Not by a long shot. I do not want to be stuck indoors. Give me 1 second. I'll put this fisheye lens back on if I get it clean. Yeah, I don't want to be stuck indoors at all. I would rather be working. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that I get to spend time with my missus. It is, and that's how we drop stuff on the floor. It's nice that I get to spend time with my missus. It's amazing that I get to spend time with my kids, especially when I didn't get to see it when I was in and out of hospital with the treatment that I was having. All that time. But I need to work. I've always been a man for work. So I left school at 15, and all of my qualifications I've got while I've been working. And for work, and I always have been, I always will be. But I want to work because I want to contribute. Even though buses are empty, and I've been seeing bus drivers actually with their ticket machine print out. This is so bad. I wonder if I take this out of here. Let me try again. Ba-bum. Hello. Focus. Will it work? I tap the screen. Will it work? This is really bad with me today. Look, washing. But I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. I don't know what the future holds. I would like to see everyone that gets the sack take up legal cases against whatever respective company they work for, whether they're bus drivers or not. I would like to see that happen. I would like to see a lot of justice for people over this. I only got out of my daily exercise because of my asthma. I couldn't read that before it disappeared, sorry. Before I went off on a tangent, I can't remember what I was going to say or do, to be fair. Awkward silence. I'm not used to this. Yeah, but it is difficult, isn't it? This whole isolation, and isolation's a really bad word, doesn't it? Isolate, to be alone, to have no hope. That's what isolation means, really. You can even Google that. You can check that out. Its native term is isolating, and realistically, at this time, I would like to see quarantine. Even quarantine sounds very clinical, doesn't it? It doesn't sound great. So we're going to start with something different. Isolation is very cold. You see, quarantine sounds too clinical, although that is technically accurate. How about drop comments down below, by the way. Please feel free to help me out here because I'm struggling. I've got a bit of a head fart going on. So instead of isolation, quarantine, we're going to call it our civic duty to stay home. CDTSH. I can't even make a word out of that. It is our civic duty to stay home. That's my computer making noises because a game is just downloaded. Yay! See, what I would hope, what I would like to see, instead of, I'm not even going to say instead of, because I know the government has a lot of money that they haven't allocated or spent. I know this. From when Rishi Sunak can say there is unlimited refunds, there are unlimited resources for the NHS, and so there should be. Bearing in mind, there should have been this sort of money for doctors and nurses for their wages, but that's another argument for another day. So what I would like is Rishi Sunak or whoever else demands in government what they do this. anyone who is off work shouldn't be furloughed, or they should change it. If you're off work, time adult should receive a tax-free bursary of sorts of £600 per week. And for those of part-time in the house, should receive £250 to £300 per week. And obviously that could be more than what most people get per week anyway. You see, but if you can't work because your job has let you go, then the government do need to step in and give that automatically to you, not pay the company, because I know there are companies out there that are going to be pulling a fast one, and I hope they all get pulled up for it. Companies, I know, and I don't know who's doing it, but it's going to happen sooner or later. There'll be a big thing over the news. They'll be furloughing their drivers, right? And then what will happen is they won't get the furlough pay. They'll be told they'll be getting statutory, or they'll be getting company sick, is what will happen. And the company will claim for the furlough the full amount, and they'll be giving whatever employee it is a lesser amount and pocketing the rest. I see that happening. That'll be a massive thing. So people like myself, what do? Depends on what we do. What does furlough mean? The word furlough, don't know where it comes from. It essentially is if my company has, if we've got 5 jobs a day, and yet we have 30 drivers in that day, because we only have 5 jobs, we don't need 30. We would only need about 15 drivers realistically. So half of those, instead of paying them to be there and do nothing, the company can say, well, we can put your job, your whole employment on freeze, to pause it, and the government will pay you 80% of what you would normally be earning for going home and sitting on your backside. They're going to furlough your job away, and you get a furlough payment. So obviously the company get the money from the government. Company then pay you 80% of what your contract is, and then the government, and then, you know, it's just the way it was. So here's your work, government gives money to work, work gives 80% to you. That's how it should be. That's how I'm led to believe. And then obviously when things cool down and hopefully the coronavirus disappears, no more COVID-19, people can come out of isolation and stop doing their civic duty and go back on buses, go to workshops, open up. Obviously those drivers are back. So their job then comes off of pause, and they can start working again, and work then, or employer then starts paying them what they need to be paid as per normal. So it's a way of saving the company money, basically. Instead of spending money on wages, the government pay the wages. It's just a way of stopping a company going under. That's what's happening with that. But do me a favour, I'm gonna end this video shortly. The last one that I done, that thank you video, if you could all share that on social media. I want as many people to see that as possible. And again, it's not for my benefit. I'm not monetized. I don't benefit from this at all. I just want it to get out there so I can show people appreciation from other people. Okay? That's all it is. I want people to feel appreciated for the hard work they do. Anyway, I'm going to apologise profusely for the bad connection on this video today. The absolutely shockingly bad camera work. I have no idea what the audio is like on this, and I'll speak to everyone soon. Take care, stay home, wash your hands, much love. Mwah.